Hello! Aaron Perella here, aka The Film Freak, and I'm coming at you with a spooktacular new movie review. Yesterday I went and saw Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, the long-awaited sequel to Tim Burton's 1988 classic, and oh my god! I am so talking about this one. But before I do... This is totally not working for me. Give me a sec. Sorry, I was gonna make the video all spooky and then I thought, no, that'll just annoy the hell out of everyone. Now, because the movie just dropped, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, so I'm not discussing too much about the story and plot. As usual, I'm just going to express my overall thoughts. Alright, well first off, let's talk about Michael Keaton and how awesome he is as Beetlejuice. Before I ever saw the first movie, I best knew Michael for two roles, Batman and Jack Frost. Don't judge me about Jack Frost, okay? I was only a child. But when I saw him as Beetlejuice, not only was I captivated by how off the wall his performance was, but I couldn't believe that under all of that makeup, it was Michael Keaton. And since then, every time I hear the man's name, Beetlejuice is the first character that comes to mind. Batman and Jack Frost are now second and third. Now speaking of Batman, when Michael reprised him for the Flash movie last year, I thought it was pretty cool. Sure, he was playing a 70-year-old version of him, but Michael proved that he still had it in him to be the Caped Crusader. And now that he's back as the ghost with the most, I think it's even cooler. Although Michael admitted that he was nervous about stepping back into the role, he did an amazing job. He definitely delivered the same energy as he did before, and it was awesome being able to experience Beetlejuice on the big screen, especially after seeing him for so long on television. Next, let's talk about the other cast members. Besides Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara also return, with Jenna Ortega, Justin Theroux, Monica Bellucci, Willem Dafoe, and even Danny DeVito joining in. Winona Ryder is great once again as Lydia. Unlike Beetlejuice, who remains the same, Lydia has changed since we last saw her. She's still going through her goth phase, but she no longer contemplates suicide. She's also the single mom to a teenage daughter and is the host of a paranormal TV show. Also, unlike in the Beetlejuice cartoon where her and Beetlejuice are best friends, Lydia is terrified of him and is even suffering from PTSD. But despite how much Lydia may have changed, it was so nice to see Winona Ryder again. I hadn't seen her in anything new in a while. Catherine O'Hara is also great as Delia, and all I will say is that if you thought she was over-dramatic in the first movie, she's just as so in this one. Monica Bellucci and Willem Dafoe serve as the film's antagonists, with Monica being the main villain. She plays Beetlejuice's ex-wife Dolores. Yeah, apparently we learned that Beetlejuice was a married man in his time. Now, I've not seen Monica Bellucci in many movies, but I gotta tell you, seeing her in Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, I thought she was phenomenal. And not gonna lie, she was kinda hot too. As for Willem Dafoe, I was a bit disappointed with his performance. As much as I enjoy him in his other movies, he had nothing special to give in this one. But out of all the actors, old and new, nobody, in my opinion, shined brighter than Jenna Ortega. I loved her in this. She plays Lydia's daughter, Astrid, and you can definitely tell that she was picked for this movie after playing Wednesday. Astrid at times has the same deadpan humor as Wednesday, while also being a little bit like how Lydia was in the first Beetlejuice. Overall, I thought Jenna was a wonderful new addition to the franchise. Now let's talk about the visual effects. One of the things that makes Beetlejuice so memorable are the visuals. The first movie had a nice blend of practical effects, puppetry, and stop-motion animation. Now obviously for 2024, those stop-motion effects are really cheap, but they're pretty cool for 1988. Well, what if I told you that this movie is still featuring those stop-motion visuals? Would you believe me? Probably not. Well, believe it, because they are still being used. Now, not every visual effects scene is stop motion. The movie does involve uses of digital animation and CGI, but for sequences like the return of the Saturn sandworm, that's still stop motion, and you know what? Cheap looking or not, it actually brought me back to when I saw the sandworm in the first movie. It's a cliche, but when you see it too, you are going to get hit with serious nostalgia. Other than that, the movie wasn't too bad. Compared to the first one, it definitely wasn't as good, but then again, what sequel ever is? But I really enjoyed it. It's hilarious, it's a bit more dark and bizarre. Tim Burton also returning to direct it I thought was awesome, only he can tackle something like Beetlejuice. It has another great score by Danny Elfman and a pretty cool soundtrack. No Harry Belafonte songs, but there is however a kids choir version of the Banana Boat song. Day-o. So that was pretty cool and a great tribute to him as well. But overall, it may have taken them over 3 decades to make a Beetlejuice sequel, but it was worth the wait. So if I had to rate this one out of 10, I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8. And that concludes my review. Let me know if you're planning on watching Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. It just came out, so you should have lots of time to check it out. If you already saw it, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And for those of you who are getting ready to watch the movie, I hope you enjoy it. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, have a look at these. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're digging my content. Every bit of support helps. Well, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.